It's an absolutely gorgeous day at Jones Stadium. Hi, everybody. I'm Eddie Clinton. Clear skies and light winds, but if you look at the far end of the stadium as they pass us, it's the nation's number 8th ranked team, the Miami Hurricane. For weeks, Spike Dykes has been saying, who would want to play Miami? Well, believe me, this Texas Tech football team, coming off last week's loss to Rice, and the Red Raider coaching staffs are ready to do just that. Some 50,000 fans expected to fill and rock Jones Stadium. So why wait? Let's get started on this week's video season tickets.
There was a festive atmosphere at Jones Stadium in Lubbock Saturday afternoon. Hello again, everybody. Ray Gaskin with you for highlights of the Tech home game with better than 50,000 fans viewing as the Red Raiders hosted the dangerous Miami Hurricane, always a national powerhouse. Early in the ballgame, Miami goes to work immediately. Craig Erickson completes the pass. Then it is McGuire taking a handoff, going around the left side where Tracy Saul makes the tackle. McGuire again gets the call, but this time he picks up only 1 yard. Tech is fired up defensively early in the game. Now the Red Raiders go on the attack. Jamie Gill back to pass, but he's sacked by Rusty Medeiros. You'll hear his name a lot more this afternoon as Miami recorded 10 sacks in the ball game. Now on Miami's next possession, Erickson throws complete to Wes Carroll. Then it is Alex Johnson on a draw play up the middle. He picks up 16 yards on the play, and this drive continues with Miami now at the Tech 32-yard line. Erickson looking for Rob Chudzinski, and number 84 is another name you'll be familiar with by the time we get through with these highlights. He gets a touchdown on a 32-yard play. With 9:32 remaining in the quarter, Miami is up 7-0. Now quarterback Jamie Gill goes to work as he throws complete to Richard Ross out at the 40-yard line. And on the next play, it is Anthony Lynn up the middle. He picks up 10 yards, but one of the few times on the day the Red Raiders could get the running game going as we watch this play again from ground level, because Tech had a minus 10 yards rushing for the afternoon against that tough Miami defense. Now Gill is sacked on the next play for a loss of 8. And on a 3rd and 18 at the Tech 42, Gill back to pass. He throws, and it is picked off by Darrell Williams at the Miami 34-yard line. Late first quarter action on a 1st and 10 at the Miami 48-yard line. It is Steve McGuire up the middle. He picks up only 1 yard as the Tech defense comes up with a big play. But Erickson on the next play goes back to throw. He finds Chudzinski. There's number 84 again. It's a gain of 26 yards. Here's another look from ground level. We're in the perfect spot here to give you a bird's eye view of this catch. Gain of 26 yards. Now 3rd down and 9 at the Tech 11-yard line. Erickson throwing over the middle to Lamar Thomas for an 11-yard touchdown play. That is the final play of the first quarter. Miami leads 14-0. Now we go to second quarter action on a 3rd down and 8. Robert Hall is in the game at quarterback now. Freshman in red shirt hits Anthony Manyweather for a gain of 14 yards after the 38-yard line. Here's a look at that play again. Elusiveness, quick feet by Robert Hall, and a good connection there to Manyweather for a gain of 14 yards. Only about 103 yards or so passing, though, for the Red Raiders in the afternoon. Hall on the next play throws up the middle to Lewis Sheffield, and Sheffield fights his way for a gain of 7 yards. This drive continues now from the 48. Hill on the play. Robert Hall scrambles and is going to finally be taken down after a gain of 21 yards. An excellent scramble by the young quarterback. 2 plays later, Hall back to pass, steps up, and is dropped by Medeiros for a loss of 1. Red Raider fans pretty quiet right now, not a lot to cheer about. Miami goes back to work again. Number 7, Erickson throws out on the left side to Chudzinski. There goes that guy again, and he rambles for 28 yards. Now they go to the running game from the Tech 21-yard line. Johnson up the middle on a draw, gains 19 yards, gets very close to going into the end zone. Now it's 1st and goal from the 2, but the Red Raiders come up with a fine defensive effort here. Matt Wingo with the stop. Then it's 3rd down and goal from the 1. Erickson rolling out, throws a pass, batted down beautifully by Witherspoon. It's 4th and 1 after taking a timeout. Miami decides to throw it, and Hill cannot make the catch. in the back of the end zone, and the Red Raiders hold. An excellent defensive stand by Spike Dyke's defensive team. Now with Tech back on the attack, it's Jamie Gill back in the game at quarterback again, but he is sacked by Shane Curry for a loss of 4, and the Tech fans are kind of quiet again. Later, here comes Miami. Again, Erickson throwing to Thomas. It's a 38-yard touchdown play. 5:02 left in the quarter. 21-0 Miami. Carlos Huerta kicks off. Anthony Blackshear back. He bobbles the ball, picks it up, and is swarmed under by the Hurricanes at the Tech 14-yard line on 1st and 10 from the Tech 14-yard line. It is Gill, number 9, the often injured quarterback of the Red Raiders, sacked by Medeiros again. It's a loss of 6 yards. Now it is Miami's turn with the ball again. They have it at the Canes 45-yard line. Erickson lots of time, throws to Chudzinski. It's a gain of 8 on the play. Down a 3rd and 1. It is McGuire stacked up behind the line, loss of 1. Miami takes a timeout, minute 33 to go in the first half. Erickson over the middle to Wes Carroll, and Carroll gains 16 yards. Not much time left in the first half, but McGuire goes off tackle for the touchdown, and Miami leads 28-0 at the half. Now let's have a visit with former Raider great Dicky Gragan. We'll be back with second half highlights.
Yeah, because Tech got in the Southwest Conference in the 60s, and so I was there in the latter 60s, and I think that was when we started really getting to a position where we could compete. Because when I was there, we beat Texas twice, beat A&M twice, beat Arkansas once, and so when I was there, we beat everybody. So I think we were starting right then to get to where we could compete with everybody. So, you know, we'd been in and sort of been a whipping post or, you know, the bottom of the rung, and we were getting there where we could start, you know, playing with them.
Coach King was the head coach at that time.
That's right.
Talk a little bit about the coaching staff that you guys played under.
When we played, let's see, when I played all 3 years, Coach King was our head coach. He left the same year I did. I hope that had nothing to do with it. But we had Coach Matt Lair was there with the defense. He was their defensive coordinator, and he's now a pro scout out in Kentucky. And then we had Coach Conley was the offensive coordinator. And they were a lot tougher back in those days than they seem to be now, because I know Coach Lair had played under Bear Bryant when Bear Bryant had his first job at Kentucky. So they were a little more physical, and when they would speak to you or criticize you, it was in terms that you understood. I mean, you didn't need to guess, you know, where they stood on things like that. But I thought they had, you know, a good coaching staff. Talent-wise, they didn't have what they have today, obviously, or I wouldn't have been there. And I thought they really did a good job with, you know, what they had in those days.
Tell me about the story going around about the Red Raider Club.
According to Steve Locke or something, when they built a new building, you could make a donation and have a plaque, or you could purchase a room. And you know, wanting to help out, I purchased a room, and the room I selected was the women's restroom. And so it's the Dicky Gragan Memorial Restroom, or whatever their title is. And so I've purchased that, and they have a plaque with my picture. And a lot of people don't recognize me when they see it. Like, I walk in, if there's a new employee, they don't immediately associate me with that picture. But what it is, it's a picture of me when I was young and at Tech, because that's when I was playing football. I thought that would be the best to do, is to, you know, have my picture from back then. But
the picture looks amazingly like Tom Selleck.
You know, a lot of people have told me that, which is sort of strange, because when they look at me, nobody's ever told me I look like Tom Selleck. A lot of people say I look like Jack Elam, but nobody has, when they look at me. But I don't know, maybe it's the angle it was taken, or well, you know, you're sitting here doing photography, you know how you can maybe dress things up, and I don't know, but a lot of people say that it looks a lot like Tom Selleck.
Looking back at Tech and your association with Tech, your reflections back on Tech, how you see the university now.
I think Tech has a problem in that, you know, it's become sort of regionalized, or West Texas. And because I personally thought the world ended at the Cap Rock. but you know, ventured on down, and sort of like Columbus, it wasn't that bad. And I think that Tech's really got to concentrate on going statewide and that kind of thing, which obviously they do and have to do in their recruiting. And I think that Dr. Lawless is doing a lot, and the ex-students are doing a lot to, you know, try to get a base built throughout the state. And I think Tech's got to do that to survive.
We get back to the third quarter action now. The Red Raiders trail 28-0. They need to get something going in a hurry here in the third quarter, but disaster's going to strike on the second half kickoff as Rodney Blackshear is hit, coughs up the football, and Miami's there to recover at the Red Raiders' 14-yard line. So immediately Miami goes to work. Craig Erickson looking for that big number 84 again, Chudzinski. Chudzinski with a big gain on the play. But the Red Raider defense gets tough, and Huerta has to settle for a 22-yard field goal. It's good, and we're early in the quarter. Miami leading 31-0. Huerta will kick off. Let's see what Blackshear, number 3, can do with the ball. This time he takes it at the 5-yard line, comes up the left side, and the Red Raiders have this set up very nicely, and Blackshear sets sail. Can he take it all the way? He's across midfield and finally tackled at the Miami 42-yard line. Red Raiders get a drive going here. Gill on the play-action fake. Throws to Lewis Sheffield, and Sheffield rumbles for 15 yards. Down to the Miami 17-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Gill looking to throw, looking for Ross. Throws. And as you see, here comes the flag. Pass interference called against the Hurricane. Gill now will roll out, pumps, and then throws for Carr, but it is incomplete in the end zone. Let's watch this play again as the ball is going to hit Carr in the breadbasket, but falls incomplete. And so this brings up a second down and 2 situation. Here's the pitch around the left side to Anthony Lynn, but he's smothered under for a loss of 3 yards. Now the ball is back at the 5. It's third down. Gill back to throw, but he's sacked from behind by Smith for a loss of 6. So Spike Dykes wants to get some points on the board. So instead of going for the touchdown on 4th down, they settle for the Lynn Elliott field goal. And the Red Raiders do finally mark up. 9:47 to go in the quarter. 31-3 the score. But here comes Miami again. Conley. Leonard Conley on the carry, picks up 12 yards. Then Erickson goes to work. Erickson, another in a long line of great Miami quarterbacks, including Bernie Kosar, Jim Kelly, Steve Walsh, Vinny Testaverde. Erickson right in that same company here as he throws out in the left flat to Conley for a gain of 14 yards. Now it's 1st and 10 at the 47. Erickson over the middle to Carroll. It's a big gain of 26 yards. The drive continues, and Erickson from the Red Raiders 6 finds Lamar Thomas for the touchdown. And the Canes are gloating at this point and certainly are making amends for that loss to Notre Dame last week. Hall is sacked for a loss of 8 on the next Red Raider possession. And on 4th down, DeLagerheim's punt is fielded by Williams. He returns the ball 14 yards. And once again, Miami is in great field position. It doesn't take them long to score. 1st and 10 from the Tech 12. And here is Kroll threading his way through the Raider defense. It's a 12-yard touchdown run, and Miami leads 45-3. Now we move to the 4th quarter of play with Miami leading by that 45-3 margin on a 3rd down play. The freshman redshirt Robert Hall out of Dallas Carter throws over the middle to Anthony Stinnett. It's a nice gain of 17 yards. And then a few plays later from the Tech 45, Hall back to throw, but Medeiros comes up with a sack for loss of 5 on 4th down. DeLagerheim to punt. And one of the few big breaks for the Red Raiders on the day. The punt is muffed by Kevin Williams and recovered by Knees for Texas Tech at the Miami 15-yard line. Here it is again on the replay from the ground level. We get a real good look at what happens. The ball just pops off his chest, and the Red Raiders are there to recover. So can Tech take it in and score? Inside 12 minutes to play. It's a 4th down and 10 play. Hall throws to Blackshear. He's hit by Greer a little early. There is a flag in a play, so the Red Raiders are still alive. Then on the next play, Hall pitches to Sheffield, who takes it in from 3 yards out, and the Red Raiders do mark up. Elliott with the extra point, and the final is Miami 45 and Texas Tech 10. As soon as the game was over, we went into the Tech locker room for some player comments.
They just showed they had great ability today. I mean, they really are that good. You know, like I say, you just got to give them a lot of credit. There's really no answer for it.
Is there any reason you didn't go back in, Jamie? I mean, you hurt it. I mean, I know you hurt your foot or ankle there at one time. Is there any reason?
No, I mean, it's just a bad day for, you know, offense. And, you know, me personally, I wasn't getting anything done. You know, we weren't. It was just one of those deals where you had to try other things to make something happen, I guess. And, you know, nothing seemed to all day.
I'm anxious to know, Robert, is there a certain style of offense or something different when you switch out with Jamie or Jamie switches out for you? Is there something different you're trying to do, or is it just a change?
No, I guess it's just a change. Maybe linemen see somebody different that might keep them going or whatever. I don't think it changes anywhere.
We felt like we honestly had a chance to win if we would have executed the offense and made some big plays at times. We could have kept our defense off the field and put some points on the board. We felt like we really could have won the game.
How difficult was it in there at halftime? Y'all, you know, down 28-0, them scoring right at the end. I mean, what was the mood in the locker room at the half?
At halftime, you know, we knew we weren't out of the game. 28 points. It wasn't some kind of insurmountable lead. We just felt like we were 3 or 4 plays out of the game. If we could come up with some big plays, we'd be right back in it.
But I know we were ready for him. The only thing that we might not have been ready for was a bootleg, but other than that, he got us ready to play.
This is the best team you've seen so far? Better than used to be?
I wouldn't say that. I think they're in a league together, but I wouldn't say one is better than the other.
Miami makes no bones about the fact they like to intimidate people out there, and at times you guys looked a little intimidated.
Yeah, they go out and they taunt and do this after touchdown or make a big play, but everybody held together pretty good. We didn't get any penalties or anything for fighting back or anything like that, so I think we did pretty good.
My last question. Last week was so embarrassing with Rice, and you turn around, you have a similar type game, except it's obviously not as embarrassing because you get beat by a better team, but the end result is the same.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, they're expected to come over here and win, and we just didn't get up enough for them. We got up, but it wasn't enough to win, and that's what makes them a great team. They do it every day.
You talking about emotion?
No, it's just making the big plays when we have to. They do it all the time, and we're not getting it done. It's something we got to work on.
Your thoughts on Miami overall?
They're a good team. They're definitely supposed to be up there, ranked in the top 10. But we could have played a lot better than we did. We made some mistakes, let them off 3rd and 4th downs, and that hurt us a lot.
How were they hitting those long plays, 3rd and 17, touchdown, that type of thing?
We was biting up and missing an interception or just missing a tackle or, just not getting enough pressure on the quarterback.
You're playing pretty darn well, though. Your assessment?
Well, I think I played pretty good, but I'd rather have the win and play bad.
Final question for you. How do you keep this team from falling apart? I mean, the seniors, what's to keep them from saying that's it?
Well, we just got to, just dedicated to the program. I think everybody here is dedicated to the program. And, we're not any quitters. We're going to come out next week, and we're going to play a good game next week against Texas.
We've had good practices. Our team came back in great condition. That's a credit to Joe Jurassic, our strength coach, conditioning coach. They're way ahead of what we've ever been before.
Basically, what I work with the athletes is not just alone in the weight training or the resistance training. I work threefold. One is the weight room with the strength training, aerobic conditioning, and flexibility. All 3 of those areas we try and help the athlete increase their potential in those areas, so hopefully their ability on the field, one, performance can get better, and our goals are twofold in the fact we try and reduce injuries. We feel the better shape they're in, the stronger, the more flexible they are, we can cut the severity of injuries down, get them back on the field, keep the rehabilitation time to a minimum, and actually try and eliminate some of the injuries we would have in a non-conditioned athlete.
Mm-hmm. What was your background? How did you get into this?
Well, I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, and I got recruited out to the University of New Mexico, and that's where I chose to play football. I was a marginal athlete. I wasn't very gifted, but I was a hard-working and kind of a blue-collar athlete, and that's the way I coin a lot of the kids we have. And strength and conditioning became part of my life because it became what gave me the chance to play. The personality of the strength coach I had, the weightlifting, the running, the different things that helped me. I saw myself perform better on the field.
And you know, Coach Dykes was one of the coaches in my career there in New Mexico. And then from that point, I graduated in May of '81. My strength coach went to the University of Oklahoma, where I was the assistant for 6 years. From there, Coach Dykes took over here as the head coach. Had an opening for a strength and conditioning coach. I was one of the candidates for it, and I was lucky enough to get the job here.
How does the facilities that you have compare with other programs that you've been around?
I think as far as quality, the quality of equipment we have, we're second to none. There's no one that has the equipment we have and utilizes it the way our players utilize it. We offer to them quite a bit amount of time. We believe that their education is first, their specific sport is second, and then what we do is third. Kind of a sanctuary away from the professors and the coaches, and they come over and they can lift some weights or ride the bicycles or use the steppers, and you know, they can physically condition themselves without the pressure of the football field or the classroom. It's kind of a sanctuary away, but in no way do I mean that's not productive.
What have you seen in the 3.5 to 4 years that you've been here? Do you have to make the kids believe in what you're doing and show them the benefits?
Well, they develop a little bit of confidence in you, and you develop confidence in them. And I think the rapport that I have with them is a little different than some of the other coaches you spoke with earlier. I think I don't ever decide if they play, so we can have a whole different relationship. I'm basically there to help them out, gain weight, lose weight, in conjunction with the training staff, rehabilitate injuries, make certain areas stronger, try and help them develop any way they can. So my rapport is slightly different than all the other coaches. It's a year-round relationship, depending where we're at in the season or after the season or what we're preparing for. But I think it's a little bit different than the conventional relationship between a coach and a player.
Last week on the Campus Spotlight, we introduced you to the Greek system here at Texas Tech University. This week, we want to tell you that the Greek system is more than just social.
I think Greeks in general get a bad rap. There's, of course, in the news we always hear about hazing and different things that people go through in order to become a Greek. I think in the past, those have had negative influences on the public perception of Greek life. However, people fail to see the positive things that Greeks do, such as working in the community, working with the Big Sister, Big Brother program in your local community, working with the state school here in Lubbock. I think that is has had an impact and has caused people to have a positive influence on Greek life and the activities that Greeks are involved in.
One thing we do is help out with the Brown and McDonald House. Like this year, we got together with our alumni and we gathered, you know, just some necessary items that they needed, and we donated them. Some other things we do are help out with, you know, researching cancer with children. We raise a bunch of money and toys and things like that and donate it to the Lubbock General and the Cancer Center there.
Last spring, we did a deal with Buckner's Children's Home. We provided Big Brothers for them. We'd go out there and talk to the kids and help them through whatever crisis they might be having, or just spend time with them. And then we've done a deal with March of Dimes. We help them with their March of Dimes walkathon. And so we are active within the community, and that's something that's important to our chapter. And especially as we grow to keep stay in the light of the community and in the campus. I think we've had the last 2 out of 3 student association presidents. And as far as grades, we've had the last 21 out of 24 semesters we've won the grade plaques.
It's a human experience. Very few people get to experience the camaraderie, the getting to know and depend on other people as a team, building communication bridges. I mean, just the interpersonal communications that you learn from belonging to an undergraduate fraternity is well worth the time spent. Not to mention the other intangible benefits.
Right.
But looking back, after 14 years, I'm still involved because I believe in what it did for me and my friends. And we'd like to preserve that unique human laboratory for all those people to come after us.
It's fun, partially because they come out of high school just scared, thinking they are, you know, jumping into the ocean, being overwhelmed by all these buildings and all these people and all this lawn, you know, they walk from one building to another. I mean, that is even for such an adjustment for a high school student. And and oftentimes coming feeling very intimidated just because of the size. And that's the real place I think that the Greek system has in the higher education, is to have a place that you can have your smaller units, that you do come to a family. And then we're able to do one-on-one work and training and to watch them grow. And it's just so wonderful to watch someone come in from high school, that they take a year or however long to feel like that they're grounded and then start moving into leadership positions.
For the Red Raider Video Season Ticket, I'm Eddie Clinton.